Then Samuel took a flask of olive oil and poured it on Saul's head and kissed him, saying, Has not the Lord anointed you ruler over his inheritance? When you leave me today, you will meet who man near Rachel's tomb and Jeljas on the border of Benjamin. They will say to you, The donkeys you set out to look for have been found. And now your father has stopped thinking about them and is worried about you. He is asking, What shall I do about my son? Then you will go on from there until you reach the great tree of Tabor. 3 men going up to worship God at Bethel will meet you there. One will be carrying 3 younger goats, another 3 loaves of bread, and another a skin of wine. They will greet you and offer you 2 loaves of bread, which you will accept from them. After that, you will go to Gibeah of God, where there is a Philistine outpost. As you approach the town, you will meet procession of prophets coming down from the high place with lyres, timbrels, pipes, and harps being played before them, and they will be professing the Spirit of the God at the Lord will come powerfully upon you, and you will prophesy with them, and you will be changed into a different person. Once these signs are fulfilled, to whatever your hands find to do, for God is with you. Go down ahead of me to Gilgal. I will surely come down to you to sacrifice burnt offerings and fellowship offerings. But you must wait 7 days until I come to you and tell you what you are to do. Saul made king. As Saul turned to leave Samuel, God changed Saul's heart, and all these signs were fulfilled that day. When he and his servant arrived at Gibeah, procession of prophets met him. The Spirit of God came powerfully upon him, and he joined in their professing. When all those who had formerly known him saw him professing with the prophets, they asked at each other, What is this that has happened to the son of Kish? Is Saul also among the prophets? All men who lived there answered, And who is their father? So it came a saying, Is Saul also among the prophets? After Saul stopped professing, he went to the high place. Now Saul's uncle asked him and his servant, Where have you been? Looking the donkeys, he said, but when he saw they were not to be found, we went to Samuel. Saul's uncle said, Tell me what Samuel said to you. Saul replied, He assured us that the donkeys had been found, but he did not tell his uncle what Samuel had said about the kingship. Samuel summoned the people of Israel of to the Lord at Mizpah and said to them, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. I brought Israel up out of Egypt, and I delivered you from the power of Egypt and all the kingdoms that oppressed you. But you have now rejected your God, who saves you out of all your disaster and calamities, and you have said, 'No, appoint a king over us.' So now present yourselves before the Lord by your tribes and clans." When Samuel had all Israel come forward by tribes, the tribe of Benjamin was taken by lot. Then he brought forward the tribe of Benjamin, clan by clan, and Matri's clan was taken. Finally, Saul, son of Kish, was taken. But when they looked for him, he was not to be found. So they inquired further of God, Lord, "Has the man come here yet?" And the Lord said, "Yes, he has hidden himself among the supplies." They ran and both brought him out, and as he stood among the people, he was a head taller than any of the others. Samuel said to all the people, "Do you see the man of the Lord has chosen? There is no one like him among all the peoples." Then the people shouted, "Long live the king! Long live the king!" Samuel explained to the people the rights and duties of kingship. He wrote them down on a scroll and disposed it before the Lord. Then Samuel dismissed the people to go to their own homes. Saul also went to his home in Gilgal, accompanied by valiant men whose hearts God had touched. But some scoundrels said, "How can this fellow save us?" They despised him and brought him no gift, but Saul kept silent. Saul rescued by the city of Jabesh. Nahash the Ammonites went up and besieged Jabesh Gilead, and all the men of Jabesh said to him, "Make a treaty with us, and we will be subject to you." But Nahash the Ammonites replied, "I will make a treaty with you only on the condition that I gorge out of right eye of every one of you, and so bring disgrace on all Israel." The elders of Jabesh said to him, "Give us 7 days, so we can send a messenger throughout Israel. If no one comes to rescue us, we will surrender to you." When the messengers came to Gilgal of Saul and reported these terms to the people, they all wept around. Just then Saul was returning from the field behind his oxen, and he asked, "What is wrong with everyone? Why are they weeping?" Then they repeated to him what the man of Jabesh had said. When Saul heard their words, the Spirit of God came powerfully upon him, and he burned with anger. He took a pair of oxen, cut them into pieces, and sent the pieces by messengers throughout Israel, proclaiming, "This is what will be done to the oxen of anyone who does not follow Saul and Samuel." Then the terror of the Lord fell on the people, and they came out together as one. When Saul mustered them at Bazek, the men of Israel numbered 300,000, and those of Judah 30,000. They told me, messengers who had come, say to the men of Jabesh Gilead, "By the time the sun is hot tomorrow, you will be rescued." But when the messenger went and reported this to the men of Jabesh, they were elated. They said to the Ammonites, "Tomorrow we will surrender to you, and you can do to us whatever you like." The next day, Saul separated his men into 3 divisions. During the last watch of the night, they broke into the camp of the Ammonites and slaughtered them until the heat of the day. Those who survived were scattered, so that no 2 of them were left together. Saul confirmed as king. The people then said to Israel, "Who was it that asked, 'Shall Saul resign over us? Turn these men over to us so that we may put them to death.'" But Saul said, "No one will be put to death today, for this day the Lord has rescued Israel." Then Samuel said to the people, "Come, let us go to Gilgal and renew the kingship." So all the people went to Gilgal and made Saul king in the presence of the Lord. There they sacrificed fellowship offerings before the Lord. And Saul and all the Israelites held a great celebration. Saul's farewell speech. Samuel said to all Israel, "I have listened to everything you said to me and have set a king over you. Now you have a king as your leader. As for me, I am old and gray, and my sons are here with you. I have been your leader from my youth until this day. Here I stand. Testify against me in the presence of the Lord and his anointed. Whose ox have I taken? Whose donkey have I taken? Whom have I cheated? Whom have I oppressed? From whose hand have I accepted a bribe to make me shut my eyes? If I have done any of these things, I will make it right. You have not cheated or oppressed us." Then they replied, "You have not taken everything from anyone's hands." Samuel said to them, "The Lord witness against you." And also he anointed it witness this day that you have not found everything in my hands. He is witness. They said. Then Samuel said to people, It is the Lord who appointed Moses and Aaron and brought your ancestors out of Egypt. Now then, stand here, because I am going to confront you with evidence before the Lord as to all the righteous acts performed by the Lord for you and your ancestors. After Jacob entered Egypt, they cried to the Lord for help, and the Lord sent Moses and Aaron, who brought your ancestors out of Egypt and settled them in this place. But they forgot the Lord their God, so he sold them into the hands of Sisera, the commanders and of the army of Hajar, and into the hands of the Philistines and the king of Moab, who fought against them. They cried out to the Lord and said, We have sinned. We have forsaken the Lord and served the Baals and the Ashtoreths. But now deliver us from the hands of our enemies, and we will serve you. Then the Lord sent Barak, Jephthah, and Samuel, and delivered you from the hands of your enemies all around you. So then you lived in safety. But when you saw that Nahash, king of the Ammonites, was moving against you, you said to me, No, we want a king to rule over us, even though the Lord your God was your king. Now here is the king you have chosen, the one you asked for. See, the Lord has set a king over you. If you fear the Lord and serve and obey him, do not rebel against his command. And if both you and the king who resigned over you follow the Lord your God, good. But if you do not obey the Lord, and if you rebel against his command, his hand will be against you, as it was against your ancestors. Now then, stand still and see this great thing the Lord is about to do before your eyes. Is it now? Which harvest now? I will call on the Lord to send thunder and rain, and you will realize what an evil thing you did in the eyes of the Lord when you asked for a king. Then Samuel called on the Lord, and that same day the Lord sent thunder and rain. So all the people stood in awe of the Lord and of Samuel. The people all said to Samuel, Pray to the Lord your God for your servant, so that we will not die. For we have added to all your other sins the evil of asking for a king. Do not be afraid. Samuel replied, You have done all this evil, yet do not turn away from the Lord, but serve the Lord with all your heart. Do not turn away after useless idols. They can do you no good, nor can they rescue you, because they are useless. For the sake of his great name of the Lord will not reject his people. because the Lord was pleased to make you his own. As for me, far be it from me what I should sin against the Lord by failing to pray for you. And I will teach you the way that is good and right. But be sure to fear the Lord and serve him faithfully with all your heart. Consider what great things he has done for you. Yet if you persist in doing evil, both you and your king will perish. Samuel rebukes Saul. Saul was 30 years old when he became king, and he reigned over Israel 42 years. Saul chose 300 men from Israel. The 1,000 were with him at Michmash and in the hill country of Bethel, and 1,000 were with Jonathan and Gilbert in Benjamin. The rest of the men he sent back to their homes. Jonathan attacked the Philistines' outpost at Geber, and the Philistines heard about it. Then Saul had the trumpet blown throughout the land and said, "Let the Hebrews hear." So all Israel heard the news. Saul has attacked the Philistine outpost. Now Israel has become obnoxious to the Philistines, and the people were summoned to join Saul at Gilgal. The Philistines assembled to fight Israel with 3,000 chariots, 600 charioteers, and soldiers as numerous as the sand of the seashore. They went up and camped at Michmash, east of Beth Aven. When the Israelites saw that their situation was critical and that their army has hard pressed, they hid in cave, in thickets among the rock and it pits and cisterns. Some Hebrews even crossed the Jordan to the land of Gad and Gilead. Saul remained at Gilgal, and all the troops with him were quaking with fear. He waited 7 days, the time set by Samuel. But Samuel did not come to Gilgal, and Saul's men began to scatter. So he said, "Bring me the burnt offering and the fellowship offerings." And Saul offered up the burnt offering. Just as he finished making the offering, Samuel arrived, and Saul went out to greet him. "What have you done?" asked Samuel. Saul replied, "When I saw that the men were scattering, and that you did not come at the set time, and that the Philistines were assembling at Michmash, I thought, now the Philistines will come down against me at Gilgal. And I have not sought the Lord's favor, so I felt compelled to offer the burnt offering." "You have done a foolish thing," Samuel said. you have not kept the command the Lord your God gave you. If you had, he would have established your kingdom over Israel for all time. But now your kingdom will not endure. The Lord has sought out of a man after his own heart and appointed him ruler of his people, because you have not kept the Lord's command. The Samuel left Gilgal and went up to Gibeah in Benjamin, and Saul counted the men who were with him. They numbered about 600. Israel without weapons. Saul and his son Jonathan and the men with them were staying in Gibeah in Benjamin, while the Philistines camped at Michmash. Raiding parties went out from the Philistine camp in 3 detachments. One turned toward Ophrah in the vicinity of Shur. Another toward Beth Horon, and the 3 towns, the borderland overlooking the valley of Jeboim, facing the wilderness. Not a blacksmith could be found the whole land of Israel, because the Philistines had said, or otherwise the Hebrew will make sword or spears. So all Israel went down the Philistines to have their flow points, mettocks, axes, and sickles sharpened. The piece was 2 thirds of a sickle, a sharpening flow point of mettocks, and the third of a sickle for sharpening forks and axes, and for repointing gold. So on the day of the battle, not a soldier with Saul and Jonathan and a sword or spear in his hand. Only Saul and his son Jonathan had them. Jonathan attacks the Philistines. Now a detachment of Philistines had gone out of the passes at the Michmash. On one day, Jonathan, son of Saul, said to his young armor-bearer, "Come, let's go over to the Philistines' outpost on the other side." But he did not tell his father. Saul was staying on the outskirts of Gibeah on the old granite tree in Migron. With him were about 600 men, among whom was Ahijah, who was wearing an ephod. He was a son of Ichabod, brother and Ahitub, son of Phinehas, the son of Eli, the Lord's priest in Shiloh. No one has over that Jonathan had left. On each side of the pass, the Jonathan intended to cross to reach the Philistines' outpost was cliff. One was called Bozez, and the other Sene. One cliff stood to the north toward Michmash, the other to the south toward Geba. Jonathan said to his young armor-bearer, "Come, let's go over to the oppose those uncircumcised men. Perhaps the Lord will act in our behalf. Nothing can hinder the Lord from saving, whether by many or by few. Do all that you have in mind." His armor-bearer said, "Go ahead, I am with you, heart of soul." Jonathan said, "Come on then. We will cross over toward them and let them see us. If they say to us, 'Wait there until we come to you,' we will stay where we are and not go up to them. But if they say, 'Come up to us,' we will climb up, because that will be our sign that the Lord has given them into our hands." So both of them showed themselves to the Philistines' outpost. "Look," said the Philistines, "the Hebrews are crawling out of the hole they were hiding in." The men of the outpost shouted to Jonathan and his armor-bearer, "Come up to us, and we will teach you a lesson." So Jonathan said to his armor-bearer, "Climb up after me. The Lord has given them into the hands of Israel." Jonathan climbed up, using his hands and feet. With his armor-bearer right behind him, the Philistines fell before Jonathan, and his armor-bearer followed the killed behind him. In that first attack, Jonathan and his armor-bearer killed some 20 men in an area of about the half an acre. Israel lost the Philistines. The phoenix struck the whole army, those in the camp and field, and those in the outpost and riding parties, and the ground shook. It was a phoenix sent by God. Saul's lookout at Gilbert in Benjamin saw the army melting away in all the directions. They Saul said to the men who were with him, "Muster the forces and see who has led us." When they did, it was Jonathan and his armor-bearer who were not there. Saul said to Ahijah, "Bring the ark of God." At the time it was with the Israelites. While Saul was taking to the priest, to tumult in the Philistine camp increased more and more. So Saul said to the priest, "Withdraw your hand." Then Saul and all his men assembled and went to the battle. They found the Philistines in total confusion, striking at each other with their sword. Those Hebrews who had previously been with the Philistines and had gone up with them to their camp went over the Philistines. When were we to Saul and Jonathan? When all the Israelites who had hidden in the hill country of Ephraim heard that the Philistines were on the run. They joined the battle in hot pursuit. So on that day the Lord saved Israel, and the battle moved on beyond Beth Eben. Jonathan ate honey. Now the Israelites were in distress today because Saul had bound the people under on us, saying, "Cursed be anyone who eats food before evening comes, before I have avenged myself on my enemies." So none of the troops tasted food. The entire army entered the wood, and there were honey on the ground. When they went into the wood, they saw the honey oozing out. Yet no one put his hand to his mouth because they feared the oath. Jonathan had not heard that his father had bound the people with the oath. So he reached out the end of the staff that was in the hand and dipped into the honeycomb. He raised his hands to his mouth, and his eyes brightened. Then one of the soldiers told him, "Your father found the army under strict oath, saying, 'Cursed be anyone who eats food today.' This is, any the men are faint." Jonathan said, "My father has made trouble for the country. See how my eyes brightened when I tasted a little of this honey. How much better it would have been if the men had eaten today some of the plunder they took from their enemies. Would not the strength of the Philistines have been even greater?" That day, after the Israelites had struck down the Philistines from Michmash to Aijalon, they were exhausted. They pounced on the plunder set, taking sheep, cattle, and calves. They butchered them on the ground and ate them, together with the blood. Then someone said to Saul, "Look, the men are sinning against the Lord by eating meat that has blood in it. You have broke faith." He said, "Roll a large stone over here at once." Then he said, "Go out among the men and tell them, 'Each of you bring me your cattle and sheep, and slaughter them here and eat them. Do not sin against the Lord by eating meat with blood still in it.'" So everyone brought his ox that night and slaughtered it there. Then Saul built an altar to the Lord. It was the first time he had done this. Saul said, "Let us go down and pursue the Philistines by night and plunder them till dawn. And let us not leave on one of them alive." "Do whatever seems best to you," they replied. But the priest said, "Let us inquire of God here." So Saul asked God, "Shall I go down to pursue the Philistines? Will you give them into Israel's hand?" But God did not answer him that day. Saul therefore said, "Come here, all you who are leaders of the army, and let us find out what sin has been committed today. As surely as the Lord who rescues Israel lives, then if the guilt lies with my son Jonathan, he must die." But not one of them said a word. Saul then said to all the Israelites, "You stand over there. I and Jonathan my son will stand over there. Do what seems best to you," they replied. Then Saul prayed to the Lord, the God of Israel, Why have you not answered your servant today? If the fault is in me or my son Jonathan, respond with Urim. But if the men of Israel are at fault, respond with Tumim. Jonathan and Saul were taken by lot, and the men were cleared. Saul said, "Cast the lot between me and Jonathan my son." And Jonathan was taken. Then Saul said to Jonathan, "Tell me what you have done." So Jonathan told him, "I tasted a little honey with the end of my staff, and now I must die." Saul said, "May God deal with me, but be it ever so severely, if you do not die, Jonathan." But the man said to Saul, "Should Jonathan die, he who has brought about this great deliverance in Israel? Never. As surely as the Lord lives, not a hair of his head will fall to the ground. For he did this today with God's help." So the man rescued Jonathan, and he was not put to death. Then Saul stopped pursuing the Philistines, and they withdrew to their own land. After Saul had assumed rule over Israel, he fought against their enemies on every side: Moab, the Ammonites, Edom, the kings of Jobah, and the Philistines. Wherever he turned, he inflicted punishment of them. She fought valiantly and defeated the Amalekites, delivering Israel from the hands of those who had plundered them. Saul's family. Saul's sons were Jonathan, Isabi, and Malchi-Shua. The name of his older daughter was Merab, and that younger was Michal. His wife name is Ahinoam, daughter of Ahimaaz. And the name of the commander of Saul's army was Abner, son of Ner, and Ner was Saul's uncle. Saul's father Kish and Abner's father Ner were sons of Abiel. All the day of Saul there was bitter war with the Philistines, and whenever Saul saw a mighty brave man, he took him into his service.